Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Saturday morning. I wanted to hop on here and do a morning chat with Danny situation. Today, I wanted to talk about something that I've actually spoken with three of my clients over this last week, and they both were, or they all were like, you know what, you should talk about this. And so, what I want to talk about is, do you have a brand or a blog, right? Or do you have a business? And the difference is it monetized? Are you bringing in money? And that is something that I really want to be clear and specific and strategic on how you go about building your stuff, right? So I'm going to use me as an example. I'm going to use some of my clients as an example, and we're going to really dive into this classes in session. You know how I like to do it. So, the first thing I want to talk about is how you're going to differentiate yourself. So there's a couple of things, right? When I first started my brands, I wanted to help people grow and scale and create profitable brands online, right? Profitable businesses. And for me, a lot of times the people that were my family and friends, they didn't support me in that way because they weren't trying to have brands or businesses that were profitable online, right? Now, fast forward present day, everybody is now trying to make their social media profitable as they should, right? No shade. It's just a different time and now they're open. However, there's a lot of noise in that industry. And so you have to then figure out how are you differentiating yourself? What is your differentiator? And so you can do that and be in that arena. Nothing wrong with that, right? In fact, I suggest that you should do that. You should have something like that. Because if there's a big arena, then there's a lot of piece in the pie, right? That's like somebody going into the beauty industry. Why not? It's the billion-dollar industry and there's enough coins for everybody. In fact, there's never too many, right? That's one of the industries there's never too many. I think it's the same thing with marketing and digital marketing and stuff. But now let's go over to the next thing. What really pivoted my brand and my story and pretty much everything in 2020 was when I created my coloring book for breast cancer patients. See, under there, I was able to test some things out. One, I was able to test something that I already knew, but I wanted to try it out, right? I think, and I say this now 100%, service based businesses and solopreneurs, you need to have a product or products that you can sell without having to dedicate your time. That's the only way to grow and scale. There has to be an exchange of money that you can either do passive. My jam is Amazon because Amazon prints and Amazon ships, and I get a check every month. That's passive income. I don't have to do anything. Amazon also allows for me to order in author copies, my most popular ones, so that I have things on hand. I can get more of the pie. So having a situation that is semi unique, maybe where you want to go, right? There's not a lot of competition when it comes to coloring books with breast cancer patients. I'm one of, if not the only one. So there's no competition. So what happened last week? Last week, I released my self-development journal and I ran an ad, right? I ran an ad. And because I took my ad class, I know a little bit more of what I'm doing. And I put $5 a day budget on it, right? From there, a lady saw my ad, clicked my Facebook, And this is why it's important. I know we're talking about the algorithm and people don't see, but this is why it's important to still post on your fan pages, because when you run ads, people want to check you out and they go to your fan page. So from there, she was able to see that, oh, you have a coloring book for breast cancer patients, and I'm interested in that now. So from there, she messages me. And I have an automated message, but she was like, talk to humans. So I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? Gave her my number. We talked. Y'all, she's from Louisville, Kentucky. She's a salon owner that specializes in cancer patients and is a wig maker. She has her own subscription box, and therefore I wanted to test out and see if the coloring books were something that she could add ongoing. I told her I had 13 books on hand. She bought all 13 of them, made a quick $80, and I looked and checked on my ad. I had only spent $1.65 that day. That's the importance of growing and scaling, right? In the meantime, I've sent out 4 invoices for new projects, for coloring books and web design, and the service based stuff that I do. Again, my bread and butter, the higher ticketed items. But that's a quick win that could potentially be ongoing for something that I made once and just have to click an order and have Amazon print and ship. That's what I'm talking about when I say that. And so there's a lot of people that have stories that you can have a specific niche, right? And still be deciding, okay, for my main thing, do I want to focus on only men or women or whatever that looks like? But if you have a health element, maybe having something for those people may be what it is. Or if you have a specific upbringing, a specific niche, whatever that looks like. That may be where you can have quick wins and work with organizations that have funding and things like that, right? That one coloring book allowed for people that I didn't know would support me to support me. I've had my aunts buy my coloring book, my cousins, my old roommates, right? Because I made something that is not just specific to my super niched audience. I made something that other people can buy, that can use. And from there, we went crazy, right? I made a self-development journal, I made a manifestation journal, I made a mind and body wellness planner, I've made a prayer journal, like so many different things because I get it. I get it now, right? And because my brand is to help marketing and to help business owners grow and scale with marketing, well, if you don't have your mind right, your spirituality right, like all that stuff, then you're not going to be able to show up as your best self. And that's how I'm able to mash and marry them together. It still works. It still works because I created a brand that was wide enough, the mission was wide enough that as I pivot, it still makes sense. And now I can make things for me as the target audience, right? A lot of times I push, and I definitely for my courses and things like that, you want to make something that is for the you 5 years ago. The you that didn't know what you know now, especially if you're teaching something. But now I'm making things that are for the me now. I use my own journals. I use my own affirmation cards. I use my own stuff all the time. And it shows. But who's better to promote than you? And that brings me to the last thing, my point to bring it all together. What are you doing to make money? How are you monetizing your courses or your classes or whatever it is that you're teaching? What product can you create that is of value that you can then grow and scale yourself and sell for the entire year? See, a lot of people will be working with these different coaches and stuff, and yeah, there may be louder and scream louder and make more noise, but just putting things together real fast and in a haste, most of those people that are my clients have gone to someone like that, and they're like, I don't like what I got. I don't feel comfortable selling. I don't like it. And then I'll come and we'll format and we'll make something that you feel good about. Honestly, that's what it is, right? They don't want to be dragged like B Simone. They want to make sure that it's quality. They want to make sure that it looks good, that they feel good selling it. And that stuff is going to take some time. See, for me, I don't have a lot of issues working with different designers because I'm super analytical, detail oriented. I like to do my research. I say that I'm pretty much a nerd, and I have corporate experience working with creatives, figuring out details, making things come into fruition. So a lot of people get caught up in, you just do it. Whatever you create, I'll be fine with it. And that's not true. See, you have an idea, you just don't know what it looks like. And that's my job. My job is to work with you, figure out what's in your head, give you some different situations and examples, and then make sure that I'm taking you through the process so that you are approving and everything is released and in good nature, right? I push it back on them all the time. This is what you said you wanted. Okay, well, let's switch it now. Now that you see that what you thought you wanted, you didn't want. Nothing wrong with that. That's my job, right? But that also allows me to talk to a specific niche, right? That's the premium. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of effort. That's also me working in my zone of genius, right? When people are like, well, what differentiates you? We're all talking, when it comes to coaching, we all talking about going live, connecting with your audience, pitching yourself, masterclasses, webinars. We're all talking the same stuff, but when it comes to design and creating items that you can add to your library, oh, nobody's touching me because my stuff has different stuff in there. I live and breathe this stuff. This is my zone of genius, and I openly share that, right? And I encourage you to figure out what your zone of genius is too, and then monetize it. Right? I feel so good helping businesses create profitable ideas, create things that they can sell, things that they can bring income in. But it's not just something that you can do in a weekend, throw it together and be like, this is amazing. People are going to see that it's not. And I hear a lot of people with negative reviews on people that have tried to push it together without taking their time and working with an expert. And yeah, you can push it out there, right? They say, well, as long as I got my money, doesn't matter. But a lot of people are not comfortable. They're not. And a lot of people are pushing things, and you need to sit down with a consultant to figure out how you can monetize. That's the thing, right? I have people that I see going live all the time and they don't sell anything. They just on. That's not monetizing. And then they feel like they're wasting their time. They feel like I'm just doing this on social media. And it's because you are, because there's no strategy behind it. There's no thing that you're preparing to launch. And you just have a blog, you just have a hobby. What are you doing to monetize? If you're one of those people that are like, I want to monetize or I want something to create, I'm accepting people for March now. March. I'm accepting March clients now. So I will be pushing that. But yeah, figure out what you can create so that you can sell the rest of the year, right? Because that's is not the fun part, but that is the work too, right? It's not just creating. It's I'm creating and then I'm working and then after I'm creating and I'm working, then I'm pushing. Then I want new eyes on my products. Now I'm connecting, right? I used to be one of those people that I wasn't online because I was working. I was busy. I had work to do, but that should not come in front of or be more important than me connecting with my audience and getting on here and having cold leads turn to warm leads, having warm leads turn to ready to buy, having being on top of mind so people are still recommending me and stuff. Those days are gone for me. I have actually just I put it in my phone every day at 8 a.m. I have go live. Now, whether that'll be on Clubhouse or Facebook or Instagram, it doesn't matter. But I have to start doing that. That has to be me. It is just as important. And so I had to push myself. 2020 was the year that I just pushed myself, right? It was a lot of me time where I had to really look at what habits were good and what habits weren't serving me. And that was one that I had to push myself. And so many people every day be like, I see you, blah, blah, blah. Like, I know it's what I needed to do. I had to do it. And if you're listening to this, this is your warning too. This is your sign too. You have to do it. Make it work for you, right? It's 9 o'clock. I got the whole day ahead of me to do whatever I need to do, but I've already engaged on 2 platforms, 3 platforms, really: YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. That's how, as a business owner, as a brand, as a person that is growing her brand and showcasing what she's doing, it was a good morning. And now I'm out. Now I'm out to do whatever I want to do. All right, well, this was a great lesson. I am excited for people that are listening. Take the weekend to think about what you're creating and then DM me. I want to know, what are you creating? And if you're on YouTube, put it in the chat below. I would love to hear, like, how are you going to monetize this year? How are you going to bring in some real income? What are you going to do? What is your thing? All right, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.